Hey guys, it's NiteMair,
And Colton Shooter.
and this is going to be a StarCraft broadcast. It's going to be basically the Game 3 of Starcranium and NiteMair. As you can see, NiteMair is now changing races into Terran, so it's going to be a TVT for this last game. And so I kind of have to maybe regret saying that I think his main race is Protoss, because it really seems like it wasn't, and like I don't know anymore, because it could have actually been Terran like this, but yeah, it could have really just been Terran, and hopefully it'll be a good game. As everyone knows, it's a very strategic game, TVT. So Colton, would you like to talk about this?
I hate Terrans.
He does hate
Terrans lately have been getting so many medevacs, and then it makes me like try to get my stalkers to focus down their medevacs, and then their marauders just go to work on my stalkers, and it's all a mess. But I like getting immortals versus them, because I don't know, I just love immortals versus Terran.
So apparently, I guess actually he doesn't outplay Terran, and so yeah, I guess it really is, his main race really is Terran. But yeah, I guess it's going to be a TVT, which is obviously really strategic, although I do find it kind of annoying with a lot of siege tanks always being there, because it really does revolve around the siege tank, this kind of play, and it really does get annoying, especially with like it's so strategic with all the siege tanks. Like one misstep could really lose you the game. And I've now been switching into Protoss because I don't know, I've really been kind of losing my interest in Terran, mostly because I don't really like TVT. I don't really like I just don't like how basically how you have to really determine your build, and there really isn't many different builds to me that you really have to do. Like there's really the MM, the Mass Marine, a lot of siege tank play.
You're gonna get a lot of hate messages.
I know, I'm gonna get a lot of hate messages, but like it really just seems the same thing every game to me. I don't know about you guys, but it really does seem like the same thing every game to me, and I don't know, I don't really like it, so I've now been switching into Protoss. But now, just getting back to the game, it's on Metalopolis, and they're both in the top. They're both in pretty much the top positions. And right now, they've both scouted each other, I think. I don't know about Starcranium, but NiteMair obviously has scouted. Nope, Starcranium has not scouted on the game. But basically, yeah, I really don't expect anything to be, really, as I was saying, TVT is my experience, is really revolved around the siege tank. So I'm guessing we'll see a lot of siege tank play in this game. And probably a lot of Marines and Marauders, because that really is what the normal build for TVT is.
Marine Marauder stem push is very common. We might see that out of one of them.
Yes, because it actually is, I don't know, it's just one of the big things in TVT, even any other race. It really is just what a lot of Terrans will do now. It's basically the generic build for all Terrans against basically all races. And actually, since I am a Bronze Leaguer right now, at least, I'm trying to move up. I'm actually pretty close to moving up to Silver. Says you. And then
I'm close to moving up to Gold.
No, you're moving up to Silver. No, I'm kidding. You're Silver, and so he is Silver, and so I think, yeah, this gameplay is Platinum level right here. So it's obviously not Pro, but it's pretty good gameplay.
Starcranium is becoming a complete baller as Terran.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
Every time I play him, he gets better. I thought I caught up to him maybe because my macro's been getting really good lately, so I forced a macro game. He still picked me.
Yeah, he's a really, really good player, and he plays all the races pretty well. Like, he's starting to play Zerg a lot better. You'd have to say he's playing really good Zerg now.
He's playing really good Zerg.
And as you saw in the Error games, he actually plays pretty good Protoss, too. Like, although High Templars were doing really good there, and that was obviously pre the new patch, so before the little nerf to the High Templars, so obviously it did a lot better. If that hadn't been there, then I think the game probably would have been a lot different. But in this series, it's obviously 1-1. This is the final game. Sorry about the wait. I was actually going through the cast I'm guessing about halfway through. My camera said memory full, and basically I have to restart the cast, and haven't had much time to do it right now, so I'm sorry about the wait, guys. But I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of this now because we're done with our classes now. Both me
Finally.
and Colton Sherry, yeah. Finally, we're done with our classes, and we're going to be seeing it right now. Back at the game, we're going to be seeing 2 racks with a
what
factory.
What Starcranium doing right now is actually interesting. He's like halfway walling off, which if you're gonna wall off, you might as well wall off the full way. But you never really want to wall off against Terran because it's so easy for them to just siege up siege tanks outside your base. And even though you may only lose like the 2 supply depots and a barracks, that can still cost you a lot.
Wow, and we do see a lot. We see 2 barracks coming from Starcranium, but we only see a 1 racks into factory from NiteMair, which makes you kind of wonder why we don't see a 2nd racks up. And there really is, like, you think there might be like an economy advantage, like you maybe built up more SCVs or something, but actually Starcranium still has that economic advantage up here. It's right now he's at 18. And his
NiteMair is shitting the bed a little.
No, not really. He's at 16. He's actually doing pretty good.
And his mineral banking.
Oh, yeah.
Unless he's saving up. No, he's not.
He's got 255 minerals. I'd like to see. I think he's queued up some marines. No, he's getting a reactor on that. So he's actually going with a mass marine, probably mass marine into siege tank, which is actually very popular in Bronze League right now. I'd like to see Starcranium get an attachment on this, mostly, and maybe just so he can maybe move this wall off back a little ways. And I'd like to see a tech lab go down right here.
What I think is that it's interesting. I mean, he has those units, so he's really just creating a choke for himself. But that's not going to help him because all Terran units are ranged.
Yeah, they aren't like, you can't like I'd understand if it was maybe like melee, because then you could.
I'd understand if it was Zerg.
Yeah, because then you could.
Even then you would still get that last supply depot because you can just raise it and lower it. I'm not understanding what Starcranium is doing.
And we do see the 2nd factory coming down for NiteMair, which probably is gonna, as we can see, is gonna definitely go with siege tanks. Which it's not really uncommon. I wouldn't ever say that's uncommon.
Siege tanks are completely standard.
They're extremely standard for nearly any kind of play, unless you have like.
Unless you're going, oh no, for almost anything. Especially grabbing expansions, they're so helpful because then you can siege them up in your base. And if your enemy runs in, you've got a siege tank that's on the high ground, and that's just always helpful. Yeah,
it really, especially like until the late game, which still a lot of siege tanks are still used in the late game.
Yeah.
It like you don't really ever see a stop of siege tanks unless it's really like you see maybe a Protoss going mass air or something. Then you'll maybe stop seeing some siege tanks.
Protoss goes mass air, then they're just noobs though.
Yeah, you won't usually see it at this level of play. Although I really wouldn't be surprised sometimes if you see a Terran going mass siege tank or something, like a lot of siege tanks. It'd actually be a very smart tech switch to do that. But, so now really we just see Starcranium still going off that 1 factory, so we'll probably see a lot more, we'll probably see NiteMair overproduce some siege tanks, which might actually be the cost, because really the siege tanks are going to basically counter a ton of barracks units. And as long as Starcranium keeps pumping out these marines, the 2 factories could actually maybe be the demise of Starcranium, especially if NiteMair really does outproduce him in siege tanks.
And that's one thing you see a lot. I was playing a game yesterday where the guy we were going the same build basically, except for my opponent got I got 2 robotics bays, excuse me, and he got 1, so I was double producing Colossus, and he was only getting 1 for every 2 I was getting. And then he had a few more Stalkers and Zealots than me, but since I had more Colossus than him, that's what won me the game. So
yeah, so the same thing applies, because really Colossus really is kind of like the parallel to a siege tank. Except that it is a little better, I guess.
It's a tier 3 unit. Siege tanks, I believe, are only tier 2.
Yeah, they're only tier 2. Thor would be the tier 3 for the Terran. Which, Thor is pretty good, and I've actually been seeing a little more of those with, like, in the TVP that I've been playing. I've been seeing, like, Marine Thor, which is a little strange. But, yeah, we do see Starcranium grabbing an expansion right now, which it actually is a very good idea, because his counterpart, NiteMair, has not. But NiteMair is moving out, so I don't know if really it is a good time to move out, though. They're tied in economy, and really NiteMair has only like 3 less marines and only has 1 siege tank as well as. So right now he's actually down compared to Starcranium, so removing it right now would be really costly. He's gonna grab this Zelnaga watchtower, and you gotta wonder what Starcranium's doing right here. Has he not scouted?
I don't think he has.
He may not have scouted
Check his
yet.
vision.
He really has not
scouted.
he's not scouted him yet.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
That's an awful mistake. Because then, if you want to move out, you've got to wait even longer, and that might be the thing that kills you.
But yeah, but I don't see it because like this, he needs to start double producing right now because right now he's like basically switching off what he's producing.
He definitely wants to be double producing. I don't see how he's keeping his mineral count low when he's only producing off of one factory and one barracks. He needs to be double producing.
We do see those siege tanks starting to siege up, which actually will really help him against
Starcranium wants
Marine.
to siege one of those up on the high ground, though. He wants to get
definitely siege one up, like right here, I would say.
Yeah, right there. That would be perfect, because then it would almost disable...
And maybe even right here. Right here might be good.
Disable sieging up outside of Starcranium's base, because... I don't know, I just don't see why he's not doing that. But, you know, it's always harder to think end-game than it is out of game.
Yeah, like, it's easier to think, like, when you're probably casting like we are right now, than actually doing it in-game. But, yeah, I like, this actually will give him a pretty good lead. This command center, this expansion will give him the economy lead, which Starcranium never really fails to do. They're really tied in economy, which is a first, really, because Starcranium usually is like the economy king against other people.
And they're not using any of their mules either.
Yeah, well, I think they have been using
Check the
mules.
energy.
They actually have been using
maybe they've been
mules.
scanning.
No, they haven't really been scanning that much. I think they've been using mules.
No, there's no mules on the units tab.
Yeah, not right now, really. But yeah, so right now we just see siege tanks, marines, and bunkers.
Now NiteMair is starting to double produce, but this is good for Starcranium. He's got a bunker up. He's got siege tanks sieged up. He's not outnumbered that badly. He's not outnumbered at all siege tank wise.
I don't think he is.
He's not.
He's definitely not. Oh!
They're completely dead even.
It's a misclick. It's a misclick.
Oh! That siege tank's gonna go down.
I think it will. But this is gonna be.
Oh, that siege tank's gonna go down.
Oh, but he's running his units in. That might. I wouldn't run in the units right there.
One siege tank goes down, but NiteMair's about to have 2 more finish, so.
Yeah.
NiteMair, I don't know.
2 more?
It's still pretty dead even.
Yeah, 2 more finish. And, yeah, this actually. But look at the units. I think a lot of Marines went down for Starcranium. No, but it's still even. They're very even in Marines.
Starcranium is 1 Marine down.
Yeah, he's 1 Marine down. It's not going to make a very big difference. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, guys. That was a little unprofessional.
That was, but, you know.
The game is lagging a little bit.
So,
yeah, it's a really horrible computer. Maybe sometime I'll show you guys how bad my setup is right now. Me and Colton are both saving up for a new computer, so it'll help a lot.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No, I gave up on it.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of money to try and get that.
But I can understand why you need one.
Yeah, because really both of the computers that we have at my house are absolutely horrible.
They're both fried.
Desktop I'm using right now.
Laptop is fried completely. Desktop is crashing a lot.
Yeah, it also has like this kind of glossy finish, which makes me having to use a digital camera on that, making basically it makes it really hard and makes it really annoying. But I'd like to see the rally points maybe go over here, but maybe not. And then we do see the expansion going up for NiteMair over here, which will even out a little bit. We do see some starports going up. I'd expect to see some medevacs coming out of that because Vikings wouldn't have much use.
Definitely expect to see some medevacs.
But you know what? You could also maybe say that they'd maybe do a Viking raid.
They might go for some Banshee arrests. Neither of them have an engineering base, so they'd have to use scans. And you never want to waste scans, or you never want to waste energy on your orbital command. Excuse me. And so they're keeping their energy relatively low. And if somebody comes out with a Banshee, it might be deadly.
Yeah, I'd say it probably would maybe get like get a lot of worker kills.
It could get quite a few worker kills, yeah.
Because they're really at low. Yeah, they don't even have enough for a scan on either of them. He only has 1 base, but he'll soon be
getting a hidden expansion out here.
I think it's also because like you could protect this a little easier. Maybe like also people won't notice like.
No, you can't protect it easier, but it's not as easily noticeable.
You know what I would probably do if I was Starcranium right here? Move these siege tanks. Move these siege tanks up to here secretly, because
that's not going to work. They're going to be shelled. Aren't those siege tanks within range?
They're within range, but Starcranium doesn't have
vision.
He doesn't have vision of it.
Oh,
there
he barely has vision, I think.
No, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. That might... No, he...
Oh. NiteMair's really taking a risk here.
But he could really take out this Marine army. If
that Marine ball is
He's close enough. Oh, but the Marines are going to move away. But look at this. This siege tank could be totally shelled. We do see the selection of this. He needs to scan because he could wipe this out nearly.
Starcranium knows it's right there. I don't know why he's not scanning.
Yeah.
There's the scan. Oh, that's... Why is Starcranium not scanning?
Oh, there's the scan from Starcranium. He was saving up some energy. And look at this. He's going to run his Marines in, which it actually could be helpful. But look at this. He has one siege tank back there, which is going to totally shell these Marines. These Marines are going to die.
All those Marines are going down, and now
now
NiteMair's Marine army
really
is
costly.
Starcranium's still somehow outnumbering his opponent, but I don't.
Wow, but he has 4 siege tanks to 1 siege tank.
If NiteMair moves in now, this will be deadly for him. He cannot afford to move in.
He has to probably move away.
He wants to move out. Or he might want to try setting up a contain, but I don't see that working too much.
You know, he already tried doing that right here, but it didn't help that much.
Full-on contain, like with missile turrets and everything.
He actually got a Viking. Look at this. We have a Viking. I don't know
I guess it could be used for some harassment, but I don't see that doing too much.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a Viking raid, because I actually used to use that a lot in my game. Usually, but that was when I was really bad, and I usually just use that because I really like dropping like 10 Banshees in the back. No, not 10 Banshees, sorry, 10 Vikings in the back of their base, because it really just kills the economy, even though. But that was like a really long time ago. People now are usually could fend those off pretty easily. And yeah, I think NiteMair might be in trouble from that exchange because he lost a lot of siege tanks.
It actually seemed like he might have been doing good there, but he lost a lot of his siege tanks.
And he lost his economy, and they're not tied in economy anymore. Starcranium now has a 7-worker lead, and they're both tied in bases. That's really going to help him, especially considering, even though there is the 2 factories, I think Starcranium now has the second. I think this will probably be the second factory. That might even be a 3rd factory. Yeah, he's going to go up on 3 factories, which is definitely going to outproduce his opponent. And that will help there. And then we have medevacs coming out from the starport, which I think Starcranium should be doing a little more of.
He should definitely be getting. Well, he might be expecting medevacs and getting Vikings to deal with them.
No, that'd be a really good idea.
That's the only thing I can think of for the Vikings.
No, and I think that actually is a very good idea. I think he should get a medevac.
He should get some medevacs.
Yeah, get some medevacs though, and maybe get like a reactor on this or something, because that will really help him with that.
That wall is a Great Wall of China there.
Yeah, all these little supply depots.
If he raises that supply depot, if Starcranium raises his supply depot right next to his choke point, NiteMair's gonna have to run like a journey and a half just to get to the worker line, or just blow through a barracks or something.
No, because like look at this, he has to go all the way around over here if he does want to get through that. So the worker line is actually very well protected. Although siege tank fire could come into play if he takes out this expansion and just gets like the medevacs up here to maybe take out these supply depots, which would really hurt Starcranium. But right now, Starcranium does have that supply lead, even though he has a gigantic economic lead. No, he's still stayed at 7. And we do see more mules coming down for Starcranium. But he actually is now outproducing NiteMair. Wow. The medevacs actually though might come into a good amount of play right here. I'd like to see maybe some Marauders come in, because Marauders are going to do pretty good against siege tanks, so because they're not going to get as hurt with the splash damage.
I'd like to see some Banshee harass.
Yeah, Banshee harass would be good. Well, except for like scans and stuff, but they've kept their energy really low.
And only Starcranium. Oh no, wait, never mind.
I want to see APM.
I think they also need to expand again.
So really,
both of them have the minerals.
Yeah, they both have the minerals.
Starcranium's almost mined out as main, and
yeah, I'd definitely like to see them take their 3rd. And yeah, just take this base right here. Maybe even go over to here, just if you want to be a little more careful. And we do see the 2nd gas coming up on the expansion for NiteMair. When we see combat shields coming up for him, and we have stim pack almost finished for Starcranium. And Starcranium is setting up his contain right now, but if he scans it.
If NiteMair moves those tanks over, that's going to be devastating. Starcranium does have a high ground spotter with the Vikings, but Oh no.
Oh, but this high ground spotter might actually be the difference. Here, don't run into that though. He cannot run into that tank fire, because that really would be devastating. And we do see him running into the tank fire.
He needs to move back. Oh, the only thing that's keeping him alive right now is that NiteMair does not have range. Or, not range, he has the range, he doesn't have the sight.
Yep. Trying to draw this medevacs out, which would be a really good idea.
Still go. NiteMair just now getting combat shields.
Yep. Well, I don't think Starcranium has combat shields either. But look at this. He's still mismicroing his tanks. Oh my gosh, this could actually be
he's losing all of his tanks.
Look at the units tab. What do we have? We have Starcranium still having a nice tank lead, but he is down a little bit on. Oh, but if he needs to siege up his tanks. He needs to siege up those tanks. He could have taken out that marine ball right there. If he had just sieged up and got his vision with the Vikings or something, or maybe even scanned if he wanted to keep those Vikings alive.
I'm still not completely sure which way this is going. I mean, it looked as if it might go Starcranium, but now he's doing a lot of micro.
And yeah, and now we do see the third coming up for Starcranium. I'd like to see it come up for NiteMair too, to match up the economy. But Starcranium is moving back now. Look at these tanks. Look how low on health they are. There's a one health tank.
He needs to get those repaired for sure.
I fail.
He just needs to...
Two 1 health tanks. No, wait, that one's a 2 health, never mind.
Oh, that's going to make a huge difference.
1 health and a 2 health tank.
But he still out supplies NiteMair.
By nearly 20 supplies.
Yeah, but 7 of those are workers. And, the workers will make a difference, but if it goes to an army exchange, it won't be as big of a lead. But
yeah,
now Starcranium
still
is grabbing his third, which will be good for him, because NiteMair still does not have any except for this hidden, which actually it's still running pretty good on minerals.
Yep. We do see... Oh, it's going to be a drop! We have drop play going on.
Oh,
look at this!
That's going to be devastating. That's going to even
out. And look how oversaturated this is.
That's going to kill so many...
He's going to drop right into the worker line.
And why is he not dropping? Starcranium is having ample time to get back up there and defend.
He hasn't moved over yet.
What's happening here? Neither of them are doing what they need to be doing. Starcranium now, I think, is running his army up. I think he's seen them. Has he?
No, he hasn't. He still hasn't. He has his Vikings over there.
Neither of them are doing what they need to. Starcranium is still not moving workers away, and NiteMair is not dropping.
He needs to drop right now.
He needs to drop right now. I'm surprised Starcranium has not seen this.
Vikings. He has
Vikings coming out. Go take out those... How does he not see this? What does he have selected?
NiteMair doesn't even have his stuff selected right now.
Look at Starcranium's... Look at where Starcranium... Oh, Starcranium saw it. He's coming... No, that's the worst place for a siege tank. Do not put it right there.
Oh my god.
I think Starcranium's seen it. His siege tank...
Drop!
Oh, his siege tank... There we go. There's the drop. That took a while. But now all those SCVs are going to... Oh my god, this is going to be devastating. Starcranium just made a huge error. He's still... that's devastating. So many workers killed. And
oh my god, look at this. It might actually even everything up. It evens stuff up and he's going to...
Starcranium's now losing in his worker supply. He needs...
Oh, all the medevacs went out. All the medevacs are gone. These Marines have no way home. But they have to do some good damage right here. Oh, but look at all these siege tanks.
There's all the siege tanks.
And they're running right into them.
That drop did a lot of damage, though. He may have not saved the Marines, but he definitely evened out the workers tab. Now Starcranium is behind 4 in workers after a 7.
Look at that. Workers killed. NiteMair 17. And he's actually 1 in units killed. He's really ahead in units. Wow.
I am surprised how long it took them to grab that, though. Like, I mean, NiteMair was just sitting there for a while, and
we might see some paranoia. We do see some paranoia. We see some siege tanks over here and some Vikings protecting, and a sensor tower. This will also tell him. It'll tell him when he's moving out, and it'll also show that he is building some stuff over here. And it'll also kind of tell him. I guess this actually could really keep Starcranium a little bit into this game.
Starcranium's third is not saturated at all.
Actually, it's not even there's
It's
no
finished.
mining, and
he's
NiteMair just
scanned
scanned it.
Now NiteMair knows it's there, and Starcranium needs to protect that, and
We do see him.
NiteMair's setting up his own third now.
Wow, this. I don't think Starcranium took the economic lead that he needed. And yeah, this actually could be pretty devastating for him. Starcranium does have his own little watchtower. But look at this army. This is going to be a nice ball, and I don't know who's going to win this, really. It does look pretty darn close right now. Let's look at the units tab to see what we do have here. We do have...
Starcranium still 4 workers behind. He's got 2 more tanks, though, and he's got double the amount of Marines as NiteMair, so he's still got a nice army lead, but he needs to get some more workers out to even that up.
Yes, definitely.
And now he's scanned, and I think Starcranium may be moving out.
And that could be fatal, especially because these siege tanks on the high ground are going to be absolutely devastating. We might see an exchange. We might see a very big army exchange. He's moving his tanks all the way over to here. This is gonna. Starcranium went around right over here and just started shelling over here. That could help him a lot. We do see some Marauders finally coming out for NiteMair. I don't think Starcranium has gotten any Marauders. He has not gotten any Marauders. And right now we see infantry weapons #1 finishing now for Starcranium. So I don't know if we saw that come up for
NiteMair.
No, NiteMair actually is at 0-0 right now.
Starcranium, this might... this is still a very close game.
He's only at 0-1, so he's not really at a big weapons lead or something. The upgrades aren't really, like, devastatingly bad. It might change the game because... But just with all those siege tanks, they're just going to shell these Marines.
He needs armor and combat shields is what he needs.
Yeah, probably that.
Now all these siege tanks...
No, I think I would like to see Starcranium get a few medevacs and just drop right here.
This is where Terran versus Terran gets really strategic.
If one misstep right here would literally cost the game for either of them.
If NiteMair is sieged up, he's not sieged up. He might not...
But he will probably see this.
He will... Oh... Starcranium's gonna...
Does he see it yet? No, he does not, but there is the Vikings.
He sees the Vikings.
He does see it now.
Oh, now he sees it. He's gonna have to get his units over there. Because Starcranium has high ground advantages. Unless he loses those Vikings, there's a lot of Marines for NiteMair. And Starcranium has no production right now.
Oh, but you lured them in! This will maybe be the game!
Oh.
That was Miss Micro, and it was a great job. Wow,
but now
look at
all
this.
his Marines are going to be shelled. No?
They're not going to be shelled!
NiteMair wasn't... He hadn't sieged up.
He still hasn't sieged up. He needs to siege up soon. Look at this. He's clumped in his base, but there's a ton of medevacs right here. I don't know how many medevacs that is, but that is a ton of medevacs. What do we have on the units tab? We have 8 medevacs.
That's going to be huge.
That actually could win the game, but oh, if he just gets around here, he could really shell Starcranium's base.
I don't think he'll go for a base trade. He might.
No, he might go for a base trade.
I think he's going for a base trade. And Starcranium is not in a good position. His bases are closer. NiteMair grabbed expansions that were further out.
As long as Starcranium sees he's moving out, I'd like to see him move his Vikings in and see that there's not an army there.
I think Starcranium thinks...
Oh, he's going to use the high ground!
He's going... Oh, this is going to be...
No, but look at this. He could probably... Oh my god, but if he does miss micro... Oh! Starcranium's going to see the army moved out! He's going to have to run his forces in!
He's going to... Oh,
my god!
This is a bunch of...
Devastating! Wow, this could be the end of the game.
This is GG right here.
He needs to siege up his tanks right now if he wants anything out of this.
He's not going to win this. He's been shelled too much. Too much splash damage has been happening. Starcranium's stemmed now. He wants to take out those medevacs. Even if he doesn't, it's not going to matter. There's too many tanks for Starcranium.
Yep, and we do see...
GG.
Yeah, definitely a GG right here. Although we have been known to see
now
that there isn't a GG for a while.
There are no infantry for those medevacs to heal, so now they're just kind of sitting there trying to take some hits. But really, they can't take hits from anything except for the Vikings, which can't attack ground anyway, so...
Okay, well, what do we see back here? So we do see a little bit... I hate TVT.
So do I. When I was trying to transition...
Tank fest. So like we've been saying, it's a big tank fest, and that is the end of the game. End of the series. Starcranium wins it.
And that was pretty epic. That could have gone either way both times.
And look at the minerals, guys. The minerals up there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we have 1,876 minerals for Starcranium. by the end of this game. So they really lost their macro at the end of the game.
But, you know, it was
which is the difference between a pro and them. But you know what? This game, Starcranium really did kind of, at the end, that really decided. I can't believe NiteMair, I wish he really just went around and came over with his tanks and just tried to go for a base trade. Because with those hidden expansions, he might actually win the base trade. Considering Starcranium had all of his bases right next to his main, so it would have been a lot easier.
The base trade might have worked out, but I'm still not sure. Starcranium, well, actually, it probably would have, because I think the reason Starcranium won that is because of his positioning. Their armies were actually pretty equal.
Yeah.
I think the main thing was positioning.
Yep, so that's it for this game. We're going to be casting a lot more games. Tell me if you liked our co-cast, because I liked it. So yeah, so we're gonna be probably doing more of these. So yeah, that's it for this game. AMS and
Colton Shooter
signing out.